Hey folks, welcome back to my channel, Designs by Dana. I'm Dana and I'm also a Close to My Heart maker. Today I'm working on the 30-day sketches by Christie's Beautiful Life challenge. So let me get this out of the way and I'm going to bring in the sketch. I'm currently working on day 8. Now this is a 2-page layout sketch, and there are some notes here on the sketch. So this sketch was designed by Susan Springfellow with Sketch Savvy, and the note here says that this is not an exclusive sketch, so you may have seen this sketch before, but she has given permission to use any of her sketches to Christie's Beautiful Life. And so they wanted to make sure that we made that clear. And it is a Sketch Savvy sketch designed by Susan. So this is the sketch, and I have actually seen this sketch before, and I think I've done something with it before. But what I did for this particular project is I went into Cricut Design Space and actually kind of designed everything out in Cricut so I could get my cuts done in Cricut. So let me go ahead and pull in my photos that I'm going to use, and then we'll move on from there. So these photos were from 2016, and at the time my son was just going into his senior year of high school. He is about 34 now, so that tells you how far behind I am here. So I've already cut down some of these. And so these are the photos, and what I'm planning to do, you can see I have more photos here than the sketch allows for, but I'm going to incorporate a flip flap. So I think over here I'm going to use this really as my title, and then I'm going to do a flip flap and do it like this. So the will flip up like here. And then I've got these two over on this side. So that's kind of my vision. So my photos will actually follow suit with the sketch. So let me get all of this out of the way and find some papers that will coordinate with these photos, and we'll come right back and get started. Okay, since this is a double page layout, I've got 2 Versamats, and I'm bringing in 2 white cardstock base pages. And we're going to start with the dry fit, which is how I always start my layout. So I've got all of my pieces pre-cut, and I'm mostly using papers from the Smarty Pants paper packet. Now all of these Sundance pieces are for my photo mats, and then we're going to just kind of get everything laid out and positioned how we want them to be, and make sure we get them on the right side for each piece. Some of these are going to kind of tuck under, and then of course some of them will not. So this is just going to be kind of a loose fit here for the dry fit portion. And since these photos I'm working with are from a school type of event, I thought I would go with this type of paper instead of trying to match something that went with the law enforcement theme. If you recall my pictures, they're actually from a law enforcement camp that my son went to just before his senior year of high school. So I couldn't really think of something that would match exactly with the law enforcement theme. So I decided to go with these papers from the Smarty Pants packet. And even though they don't look real schoolish, I think that they work out quite well here. So I'm going to bring these photos back in and place them where they go. And let's see, this one goes here, here. Here he is walking across the stage. He actually received an award, like a leadership award for this event. So that was super cool. And then again, I'm using this as my title for the layout instead of adding a separate title. So this was the Law Enforcement Academy. So he did this in Jefferson City, Missouri, which is the capital of our state. And so he went down there and he stayed in like a dorm area for about a week. I think it was a week. And then at the end of the week, we went down for this little graduation ceremony. Now I'm going to show you how I do my flip-flaps. Everybody tends to do them slightly differently. So there's really no right or wrong way. This method that I'm doing here is a way to do it where it's on your layout as opposed to on your page protector. So what I will typically do is I want it to attach to my photo, and then my photo is going to be matted on this Sundance cardstock. So the main thing is I want it to attach to this photo, and then I want it to be easy to attach down to the cardstock. So I've got my photos in there in place, and I'm going to line those up, and then I'm going to, so I can line it up this way, and I'm going to bring that flap down. So you notice I haven't taken off the adhesive for the flap yet. So I've just put it on the adhesive that I just put down on the picture. So now what I'm going to do is add more adhesive to this photo that's going to go down on the photo mat. I can pull this backer off of the flip flap at this point. And now I can just turn this over and center it onto my photo mat. So I'm gonna hopefully not get my head in the way here. So now it will open like that. You don't see a whole lot of that piece from the flip flap to show through, and then I can just put my mat down onto my page. So I kind of like to do it that way, especially if I'm matting my photos. It makes it really easy. Of course, some people put the flip flaps on the outside of their page protectors, and everybody does it a little differently. So this is the basic layout of the sketch. Now with the sketch, a lot of the embellishments are really part of the sketch. So I'm going to go ahead and dry fit those as well, just because I feel like they are really part of the sketch. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here. Now I'm putting it under the flip flap, obviously, because that's going to have to lift up. And for these little stars, what I did is I cut out several of each, and I glued about 5 of each star together. So I made them really thick, like chipboard pieces. So they'll be nice and, I guess, firm, if that's, I think that's what I want to say. And let's see if I can remember where everything goes here. You know, that goes up there. I think this goes up here. Might have to move some of this around. I think this goes up here. This goes down here. This goes over here. One of those goes here. This goes here. Here. So you can see that all of these were cut on the Cricut, and I really think that they're just really become kind of part of the layout, even though these are also serving as my little embellishment pieces. Now these little round circles I'm going to pop up, and then I've got these thick little chipboard type stars to go on top of them. So I'm gonna pop these circles here up, and then I've got the thick chipboard on top. And there's my guest host there. So really, this is most of the embellishments. I do have a few other pieces I'm going to add here, and these are the white acrylic arrows. And I've pulled out some extra in case I wanted to add some extra. But what I did is I used my tri-blend markers. I've got the dark red blend and the true blue blend, and I colored them with the markers, and I let them dry, and I have about 3 coats on these, and I think they're pretty dry. I also used my heat tool to kind of move that process along. I'm going to hold those up a little closer so you can see that, but if you just color them straight, you'll leave a lot of streaking. So I kind of do little tiny circular motions so you can still see some of that texture on there. So if that's something that bothers you, this technique might not be for you. It doesn't bother me because nobody's going to be looking that close on my layout. So it's not an issue, like I said, for me, but it might be an issue for some people. So I'm just going to put a few of these. I'm not going to do a lot of them on the page. And I'm really going to call it good because I think there's plenty of other pieces around the layout to consider embellishments. So I think that's really probably all I need. I may add a few white ones here and there, but that's really my dry fit and my embellishing. I do need to find something to put on this tag, so I might see if I can find some red ribbon or something there. But let me glue this down, and I think that's really going to wrap everything up. All right, I've got everything glued down and the layout is complete. Let me just hold this up and I'll show you my flip flap here. And there he is giving his award acceptance speech. I added a little bit of journaling, and another thing I added off camera here is a little white stitching around all of the stars. So I did pop these red circles up like I mentioned, and then with the chipboard look of the stars being stacked, I've got some nice dimension there that I was looking for. This one down here I popped up because it was only a couple layers of stars there. And then on this side, same thing, I added the white stitching effect around the stars. I did find some ribbon to put on that tag, and that kind of wraps everything up, and I kept it relatively simple as far as adding extra embellishments because I think that a lot of this really served as embellishments for the page. So let me bring in my sketch again. And you can see I've held pretty true to the sketch. I didn't do a lot of this up at the top, and I didn't do a title here since my photo really served as the title. But I really enjoyed this sketch. Like I said, I think I've done this one before, so I know I've been drawn to it, and I really like the little banners on this one. So I hope you like it as much as I do. And if you did like the video, please make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel as well. I will continue to try to get caught up on these sketches throughout the rest of the month. So I do hope you'll come back and continue to watch them and hopefully learn a little tips and tricks along the way as well. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.